The penultimate story in the Key to Time box set is The Power of Kroll. Here we have the green sticker to show that it's set in woodland, basically. It's a very weird setting for a Doctor Who story. Here we have Kroll, which is the biggest Doctor Who prop villain ever created back then. It was all a prop. It's no CGI before this age of CGI when this story came out, and it looks quite impressive, I must say. Some parts it looks a bit dodgy nowadays, but I think for the time it would have been damn terrifying if I was a child. You also have some lightning, and it's just like loads of swampland. You can see the Doctor and Romana on a canoe, and there's even another picture of the Doctor and Romana inside the woodland. The swamps, all the grassy areas. We have the segment of the key again, and you can just see the top of the TARDIS there. So overall, there's quite a lot of stuff happening on this cover. Obviously you have all the swampland as well, and you have the oil rig, one of the main setting of the story. And on the spine, you've got more stuff going on. I say the best spine out of the set is probably the Android Zatara, but this is quite a nice spine. It's probably the second best spine out of the lot. It's just, it just stands out. And the Key to Time Story 5 by Robert Holmes. This is his second story in this season after the Rebos operation. Searching for the fifth segment of the Key to Time, the Tracer brings the TARDIS to treacherous swamps on a third moon of the planet Delta Magna. The Doctor and Romana soon uncover a plot to wipe out the Swampies, the local inhabitants, by the duplicitous crew of a gas refinery. Meanwhile, a massive creature is stirring beneath the waters, and the primitive Swampies believe the only way to calm the powerful monster is human sacrifice. Commentary by Tom Baker and John Leeson. Variations of BBC local news programme visits the story location during filming. We have in the studio fascinating glimpse inside the studio recording of the story recovered from the time coding monochrome production recordings. There's something about Mary. Mary Time looks back at her time as Romana. Philip Maddock, A Villain for All Seasons, a retrospective of actor Philip Maddock's numerous roles as a Doctor Who villain down the years. I say this, out of his three appearances, is probably his weakest appearances. It's a bit boring in this story, I'm afraid to say. Nothing compared to his role in the War Games or the Brain of Morbius, in my opinion. Continuities offer, and they're just continuity links to the story, and the rest are usual again, like coming soon and all of that. You have the broadcast dates, which were between 23rd of December 78 and the 13th of January 1979, produced by Graham Williams, directed by Norman Stewart. The liner notes are by Murray Lang, and the cover is by Clayton Hickman, and runtime is 90 minutes. So the disc is green and it just shows Kroll there. What do I think of the Power of Kroll? I'm not really that fussed on the Power of Kroll, to be honest. It's one of the weakest in this box set, which is quite surprising, really, as I'm a big fan of Robert Holmes. Maybe if I rewatch it, I might like it more, but I don't know. There's just something about this story. It just doesn't make me like it as much as the Stones of Blood or the Android of Tara, or possibly even the Pirate Planet for that matter. I don't know what's better, the Reboss operation or the power of Kroll. Might say the Reboss operation, but I don't know. It's not a bad story. I don't think there's anything really, really bad about it, but I'm just not the best fan of this story. I don't know why, to be honest. There's just some reason. I think it's because parts of it I found a bit boring, and some parts I thought were a bit corny, like all of the swampies, like painted green, and they were just chanting "Kroll, Kroll, Kroll" over and over. It just got a bit annoying, and it just seemed a bit corny, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, anyway. If you love this story, I hope I've not offended you. But if you love this story, I've nothing to complain about. It's everyone's opinion, but that's my opinion, anyway. So that is The Power of Kroll. And the final story of this set. And everyone says that this is the weakest. The Armageddon Factor, which is like the big grand finale of this story, the big six-parter right at the end. And this is a U. And it's a 2-disc set. The sticker is red again, and there's a lot of orange around, and it's in space. You have Princess Astra, who will become the next Romana in Destiny of the Daleks, which follows on from this. We have the Fourth Doctor here, of course, and we have this guy, the Shadow, who's like the villain of this story. So I think it's a very good cover. I actually quite like this cover. I think it's very good. And that's the spine. There's a bit of red going over there, but apart from that, it's all black. And it says U, Universal for All. I'm not sure about that, but there you go. This set is a PG anyway. The finale of The Key to Time was written by Bob Baker and Dave Martin, and they are great writers, I must say. The Key to Time is almost complete, with only one piece still to find. The Doctor, Romana and K9 arrive on Atrios, a planet in the middle of a terrible war with its twin world Zeos. To restore the balance of the universe for the White Guardian, the Doctor must find a sixth segment before the planets destroy each other, but Zeos is deserted, so who is behind the war? Commentary 1 is by Murray Tamm, John Woodvine, David Hayes. Commentary 2 by Tom Baker, Murray Tamm and John Leeson. Defined in Shadows, the cast and crew look back at the making of the story with writers Bob Baker and Dave Martin, designer Richard McMahon-Smith, Lalla Ward, David Harris played Shap, and Barry Jackson who played Drex. And Drex is another Time Lord, by the way. Directed who Michael Hayes talks about the directing career. Rogue Time Lords, a potted history of errants, Gallifreyans, and then you have Pebble Mill 1, just interviews with Tom Baker in 78, plus an interview with Dick Mills and Brian Hodgson of the Radiophonic Workshop. The New Sound of Music, Dick Mills talks about sound effects. You have Merry Christmas Doctor Who, a sketch from 1978's BBC Christmas tape. Late Night Story, Tom Baker reads 5 spine-chilling stories from this 1978 series, one never before broadcast and seen here for the first time, so there's a good exclusive for you. And we have continuities offer, and there's just loads of special features on this, as it's a 2-disc set, 2-disc for this. And the broadcast dates for this was between the 20th of January and 24th Feb 79. produced by Graham Williams and directed by Michael Hayes, and the runtime is 144 minutes. It's a six-parter. And yeah, the booklet is loose. There's no grapple for it. So it's a bit like The Invasion. So you just have to like put it in like that. And just make sure it doesn't slip out. Bit of a pain, as I prefer the whole thing where it just flips and you have more than one disc. So that's disc 2. This is disc 1. So disc 1 has a 6th segment, whereas disc 2 has the whole of the Key to Time as a whole. And I quite like the idea how you've got segments and all of that and all the discs. I think it's quite clever. Now, what do I think of the Armageddon factor? Well, everyone says it's a very bad way to resolve the whole story arc of this season. And yeah, I agree, but I actually quite like it. But, you know, it's not the best story in the world. There are some faults with it, I can see. And it might not be my favourite out of the whole season. I don't know if it's my least favourite or not. But by the end of it all, you do get a sense that you are a bit cheated, and you think, oh, it just feels like so anticlimactic at the end. But I think there is some good parts in the story. I think there's some memorable moments. Again, the lead actors in this story are on top form, and I don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be. I really think that there are a lot worse story than, like, there's more worse stories than this, and I think it's alright, and actually quite like it. So, thank you very much for watching my review, my gargantuan review, which has took up 3 videos, of the Key to Time box set. Would I get this set? Well, if you're a Doctor Who fan, like me, and you're a completist, like me, then I would get it. Yet, it doesn't have the best stories in the world, I must admit, but you've got yourself hours worth of stories here, and lots of extras, and, you know, it's, when you buy this, you're basically getting all of Tom Baker's 5th season. So, just bear that in mind. I think it's quite a good season. Not my favourite season, but I think it's very good. Not the worst, definitely not the worst. So it's definitely worth checking out, and all I can say really is, if you want it, get it. But if you don't want it, and you're thinking, oh, I'm not really sure about that story, but I really want that story, maybe hang on for a while. But eventually, I would definitely get the Key to Time box set. Thank you very much to everybody who has watched all 3 parts of this gargantuan review. It's probably lasted over half hour, nearly an hour maybe. So I'm sorry if I've kept you, but I've enjoyed making these videos. Stay tuned next time, and if you haven't already, check out my Facebook group, The Obsessed Tuvian 95, and subscribe to my channel.